Okay, so back for episode 4, I do believe this is, of the Calgary GM Mode series. And this is something that I didn't look at the end of the last episode, and I don't know if apologize is the right word, but I do want to comment on how much freaking micromanaging there was in the last episode. So I guess I kind of do want to apologize for the amount of micromanaging. We are going to be simming this episode from the deadline to the end of the regular season, and we'll take another look at some of this stuff and the stats and everything as we get to the end of the regular season and see if this team can maybe by some miracle make the playoffs. But I wanted to show a progress report, so I'm going to show it to start this episode off. This is where we're at. So all of these guys, if it says, see where it says attributes modified, that means somebody has either grown or regressed. And so if it says 0, that means they have not changed in any way, shape, or form. Sven Berchi has grown. And when the season started, I want to say he was a 78 overall, but I will probably fact check that in editing. And he has grown. His current it says you right there. It tells you right here, original overall. So I am a blind dumbass. So just bear with me on this one. 78 overall to start the season. He's grown to an 80, so he is growing very nicely. You see his potential in the top right corner, 4.5 gold star. He is currently basically a third line scoring forward. So that is his role. He has developed nicely. We put him on the power play. We've given him some minutes, and it's paid off nicely. Now, if I click on his name, I can see exactly what kind of growth he's had. He's had natural growth across the board in shooting. Slap shot accuracy has grown by 1. Slap shot power by 4. He's got a bomb of a slap shot now. It is growing, and he's only 21 years old. So +1 to the wrist shot accuracy. So he's getting a little bit of accuracy, but he has really gained some power. Now it's just a matter of him not just growing in terms of strength, but also improving that accuracy, because power means nothing without accuracy. So his puck skills, slight improvements there, but improvements nonetheless on his puck skills. His senses have grown a little bit. His offensive awareness, no, not a little bit. +3 is a good jump there in natural growth. For offensive awareness, skating, gotta be improved. So skating has not grown at all. He has had no growth in skating, but we will revisit this at the end of the regular season. Physical, not gotten any improvements. No strength improvements, no durability improvements, no body checking improvements. But defensively, he has improved. So his defensive awareness by 2. Face-offs by 1. Don't have to worry too much about that. He's a winger, so he could have no growth in face-offs as far as I'm concerned. Shot blocking by 1. Stick checking by 1. And TJ Brodie, a player that he has 4 red star potential. He's 23 years old, another youngin' on this team. On the back end for us, saw 1 attribute modified, and it was his passing that grew by 1. So that is the only thing for TJ Brodie that has grown to this point in the season. Again, maybe some of this growth, that if Brodie has any growth, some of it may not show until the end of the regular season. So bear with it for a little while, because he may grow by season's end, but a little bit disappointing that we haven't seen TJ Brodie jump. His overall rating has not changed from the beginning of the season, and he has not seen any natural growth in any of these categories except passing. Well, look at this. Max Reinhart, now just a 3.5 gold star potential, currently a minor checking forward, 22 years of age, but man, he's grown. He's been playing on the 4th line, I think, for the majority of the season. I've been penciling him in on that 4th line. I got to see how many games he's played, but I think I don't know what screen. I'm going to have to probably go to a different screen to see that. But basically, good modifications on shooting. Great modifications on the puck skills. All the puck skills have jumped. +3 to the hand-eye, +3 to the puck control. Senses, his offensive awareness has grown by 3, from a 77 to an 80. Skating, a little bit of improvement there, so +1 and +1 balance and speed. Physical is up by 2. Defensive awareness and shot blocking improving as well. So Max Reinhart has had a growth period just playing in the NHL. You got to get these kids in here. Let him play, let him grow. I mean, he's 22 years old in season 1, for crying out loud. So that was all of the growth. That's all the players that have changed and had attributes modified. So I do want to just get right to it. Simulate. We're at the deadline. I want to show, can I see the standings from here? Because, man, there's a lot you can scroll through in this. Yes, there you go. Oh, why are we 4th? The top 3 teams, so the top 3 teams, Vancouver, LA, Edmonton, they lead their divisions. So you're telling me that we're 4th entering the deadline? I thought we would be... Oh, I'm so confused. I'm such an idiot. I'm looking at this the wrong way. I thought this was the whole Western Conference. This is by the division. Okay, so I'm in Stats Central showing the team standings, and I want to quickly explain why I was so confused in that last screen about the standings. So in NHL 14, this is the first game since the NHL realigned. So if you don't remember it, the NHL realigned after the 2012-2013 season. So this game, this season that we are simulating, is the 13-14 season, the first season after realignment. And in the old game in NHL 13, it showed you the whole Western Conference standings in that standing screen that I was just showing. So that's what I was confused about, is it shows it by the division in this game, not by the conference. So this is by the conference, and we are the last team in right now. So if the playoffs started today, they don't start today, but if they did, we would be in the playoffs by 1 point over San Jose. We're in the Pacific. We can catch our neighbors to the north, the Edmonton Oilers. We can still catch those guys. I don't know if we have a head-to-head with those guys remaining on the season, but if we do have a head-to-head, and I feel like we do, we need to win it. We need to get points on the Oilers. I know that we do have points on the Oilers because we beat them in the season opener. So I'm in the trade screen. I'm going to take a look, and then depending on how this goes, I may shuffle through all the teams and just edit to, if I find something interesting, I may edit right to that point. But my first thing that I do want to show you is we don't have a lot of cap space to spend. We don't have a lot of cap space available unless we send somebody the other way. So we may have to send a roster player the other way if we find someone that another team has on the trade block. I wouldn't get carried away expecting us to have a trade. I probably am not making a trade. We're not really in a power position to make a trade. We're not a contender. We're barely on the fringes of being a playoff team at the deadline. And I just do not know how the end of the regular season is going to turn out for us. Atlantic Division, Tampa Bay, they are out of it. Okay, that would make sense for Tampa Bay. They're not a playoff team, so they are looking to give a particular skater away. So let's go find out who that skater is. Okay, trade negotiations. Let's do this. I have 2 phones and 4 hours remaining to propose a trade. So this puts some pressure on me here. I break out the BlackBerry, whatever model. I never had a BlackBerry, so just bring up the trade screen again. Okay, Tampa Bay. This makes some sense. Not a playoff team. Skaters giving away. That's draft position. Skaters giving away. There he is. Pouliot. So we want Benoit Pouliot. And he's making $1.8 million this year. I didn't actually look at the stats and what he's done this season, but I'll bring this up. I don't think I can see, no, I cannot see stats from here. But I'll show you his attributes. Maybe I can see stats. Oh, I can. Okay, so this game did have stats in it from here. Cool. He scored 17 in 61, 35 points. I mean, that's pretty fair. It's not bad. 8 power play goals. We're missing Yager. For the whole, even if we qualify for the playoffs, we got no Yager. You know how much these injuries are affecting us. We could really afford to make a trade for this guy. Is it 1 year left on his deal? I didn't look at the contract. I don't know. Oh, yeah, his playoff stats, too. Yeah, he hasn't done much in the playoffs, but that's fine. He's going to get that experience, hopefully, at some point with us. I want to be optimistic. But there's his stats and what he's done. I didn't look at the contract. Was it 1 year? I didn't really pay attention to this. It is 1 year. That's a good deal. I mean, it doesn't have crazy potential. He's just 81 overall, and he's 27 years old. But I think we take a chance on this player, and we can probably get him for cheap. How do I bring this up? His trade value is not insane, so this could be very easy. I don't even need Tampa Bay to retain. Now, what would we send the other way? They're going to want they want a prospect, and I don't man, we got Sean Monahan. I didn't even think about Monahan. I do not want to give up on Monahan. This Wotherspoon guy, I don't feel like, based on the trade value, this seems like a pretty close to fair deal for Tampa Bay. They want to offload the player, and we can make that fit. And I don't feel like it's fleecing anyone, so I think what we'll do is we'll just propose this to Tampa Bay and see what they say. And they took it. All right, well, there's your trade deadline deal. We have acquired Benoit Pouliot. This is easy. Pouliot just gets right in there. I got to find his name. All right, Benoit Pouliot. He is in there. On the third line, I actually think... No, Sven Baertschi's been growing, and he's been playing on the second line. I like Baertschi on the second line. First line power play time for Pouliot, so just right away, just get him involved on that. All right, I have shut down the phones, and we have acquired... Oh, there's some other trades that have gone down on deadline day. We've acquired Benoit Pouliot. Chicago acquired Hal Gill. Shut down the phones. Yep, I'm done for the day. No more trades are necessary. Well, you know what? We should look into acquiring a goaltender, because you know what I think? I think that this is the end of Mika Kiprusoff's tenure as a Flame after this. So I think when I get my next opportunity to search for a trade, let's see if there's a goalie on the block. Okay, so there was no goaltenders. None. The only goaltenders that made sense, or that had any trade value, they were all super old, well into their late 30s, and just players that are probably going to retire soon, much like Mika Kiprusoff. And I know, by the way, that Kiprusoff, apparently he retired before the 13-14 season, but yeah, I did not update the rosters. I just went full bore right into this GM mode, and it was fun for me because I did want a season with Kiprusoff at least. So I got to do a season with Kiprusoff as the goaltender. The more trades that went through, I'll just scroll really quickly since I've just shut the phones down for the day. Continue. And just like that, David Jones, I'm going to let him get fully healthy. Sheldon Brookbank on waivers. Didn't they just trade for this guy or something like that, Chicago? Or I don't know. There's multiple players. So does this affect the simulation is my question. If I turn injuries down, does this affect the simulation? I'm going to turn it down and just see if it changes anything at all. We're having way too many injuries. Okay, so we're done with deadline day. We've looked at all of our options. We made one very minor trade, if you ask me, but it could still be big for us because it fills a gap in our roster with the injuries that we've been dealing with. Because we're missing Hoodler, that's still a big injury. It is an unplayable one. David Jones is a playable injury, but I'm going to let him get fully healthy before he gets back in the lineup. So he's not in the lineup at the moment, but no Hoodler, no Jones, no Butler. And Yager is done until late May, basically, a herniated disc for Yager. So our big free agent signing, unless we go into the playoffs and make it that deep, we won't be seeing from him as a Calgary Flame. All right, so without further ado, let's just get this done. I want to get through some simulating. I've turned the injury slider down in the game just to see if it affects the simulation. So let's just get right through it. Past Washington, and that is a 1-0 loss in regulation for us as well. Hoodler's back. We need it. We just freaking need this. Okay. Goodness, I had a whole conundrum with the roster, and it's completely edited out. But I got the roster set up. Jones is back in the lineup. So we sent down Reinhardt. We sent Reinhardt back down to the A. And we will skip past the Boston game. Oh, that's another tough loss. We are just playing ourselves out of the playoffs. We lost to Boston 4-2. Yay! There's a win. There's a win over San Jose. We have got to basically, at this point, we've got to win out the rest of the season. Big one over Vancouver, and we're getting back healthy as well. Look at that. Under injuries, we are pretty much healthy. Somebody came back and it didn't tell me. Well, I think it was Smith that was out with an injury. I don't know. We're getting back healthy. That's the only thing that I know. I don't know who was missing, but simulating again. Oh, that was a loss, but it was in extra time because we had a 7 in that overtime loss where it says 31, 29, and 8 there. It now says an 8. It was 31, 29, and 7 going into the game against the Avalanche, so a much needed point. But we need to get it back. We're playing a back-to-back here with travel. Nashville and Colorado. Mid-March. Important games and points on the line for us. That's a big win over Nashville. Got that one. 2 points in the bag. And I don't care about Stefan DaCosta. He kind of looks like the guy from Scary Movie. He looks like that guy. Whoever that actor is.
Cindy, please. It's a matter of life and death. I'm asking you in the name of love.
And there you go. 5-4 win. Look, I didn't care too much about how you got the win. Just cared that we got it. So we're on a streak now. Isn't that a... Oh, never mind. We lost to the Avalanche. But we're playing better. Look at this. We dropped this stretch of games. Yeah, we dropped this 3 stretch of games. Pittsburgh, Washington, Boston. Turned around, got 2 W's there. The loss in extra time to the Avalanche. So we're on a point streak. Not a win streak, but we are on a point streak. Well, we are on a win streak. It's a 2-gamer. We need to continue that trend. Updated look at it. Still 3 points behind the Edmonton Oilers as it stands. So there's one head-to-head on March the 25th. And there's another head-to-head April the 5th. And that is it. 2 more big head-to-head games. That is 4 possible points against the Oilers. We have to take them in regulation. We lost, and there's a guy on waivers. Chorney, no. We lost 5-1 to Winnipeg. I know Kaprizov is going to get tired and worn out by the end of this stretch of the season, but we need big performances and we need wins. I think we dropped the nut. Did we drop that one? Oh, Camilleri. Where was he playing? Yeah, Jackman got in there for him. Camilleri's gone for an undetermined amount of time. Worst time. Terrible timing for that. To me, this is easy. Glenn Cross takes that top line spot. Jackman goes all the way down. Horak to the 3rd line. And Stempniak just goes up. So that's just the changes that are made there. Oh, bless this poor roster. We have gotten beaten up this season. We're going to go, you know what? Let's do this real-time simulation, whatever you want to call it. We're going to go into the screen for the simulation for this game against the Edmonton Oilers. It's too big of a game. It's a huge head-to-head. So I'm going to do sim speed times 2. Just go to goals. How fast is times 4? Yeah, times 4 is perfect. So first period of play against the Edmonton Oilers. We got that power play. Didn't do anything with it. Both teams are generating a healthy amount of shots through 1 period of play. And nothing. No one's scoring. Nothing on the power play. First period is done. Nothing game. 13 shots to 11 in favor of Edmonton. Resume the simulation. Second period of play. We pick it up on the power play. Didn't do anything with it. Power play again. And it goes nowhere. So, there we go. Stage in on the power play. He was just put on the power play. And he scores 1. What about this one? Long power play for Calgary. Didn't go anywhere. Calgary just got it. We just got to finish this game with a W in regulation. Edmonton is keeping it close, and they are starting to outshoot us. Third period of play, didn't pause it at all. Just keep the sim going. And Horkoff. He scores, the captain, I do believe. And there's another one, back-to-back, rifled into the net. This one on the power play from Hemsky. It is falling apart for the Calgary Flames. We need a late one. We need to at least tie. We at least need to tie. Oh, and there's a goal from the Nuge, and that's definitely the game. We have really collapsed in the late half of the season, the last half of the season, not the late half. And we get one. We would get one right there. Good job, Horak. Totally useless goal. Can I look at the... Well, I know who scored the goals. I'd like to see who had points. Can we see all? Yeah, here's the recap. Stage and Ganosov started off early in the second period, basically. Then Horkoff answers early in the third, and Edmonton just ran away with it before Horak scores one of the most useless and latest goals he could have possibly scored. Oh, there's stats. There is stats. There's your scoring summary. Penalty summary. Man, Edmonton playing dirty out there. Look at all these penalties they took. We couldn't take advantage. And here's who did what for the Calgary Flames. The statistics, Kiprusoff above 900, but just needed him to make an extra save, basically. And there's who did what. A lot of minuses in there. So clearly that is a huge loss because it does add some separation between ourselves and the Edmonton Oilers, who we are chasing. And the wild card is currently, it's Chicago, obviously, is in. We're tied with Phoenix. So I think that wild card is Chicago and Phoenix at this moment in time. So we could still make it. We gotta win, man. We just gotta win some games. Oh, they didn't tell me Butler got injured. Damn. Oh, Camilleri's back. Camilleri's back. Yes. I thought this was gonna be like some really long-term injury that was going to screw us over here in the late season. That's an obvious one. This is an obvious, easy decision. Jackman, you're gone. Give me Jackman. I mean, he can be gone if he wants to be. I don't care. All right, welcome back, Camilleri. We're going to do what we've been doing. Top line minutes with LeCavalier. We're pairing those two together. Glenn, Cross, Backlund. 2-1 loss. But we got points because there's a 9 there in the OT loss column. So we did get a point. Win! Yes! 4-1 win over the Blues. And now back-to-back against the Wild. On the road, lost 5-3. That means we did not get a point. We'll go past Phoenix, and they are Phoenix at this point in time. Go past Phoenix, check on the standings. And we won. No, I do not. I don't want Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, no, we don't want you. Okay, are we? We are the wild card team right now. That was a big win over Phoenix. I hope we got that in regulation. I can find out. Oh, it went to a shootout. So we won in a shootout, but we did give Phoenix an important point for them. That could be crucial down the stretch. But good thing we got a good shootout lineup. Oh, I have sim passed it. I meant to do the real-time sim, but the real-time sim didn't do us very well against the Edmonton Oilers last time. So we're just going to do it from this Be a GM hub. And, we've been playing well. I don't even know who Chris Butler is, but I don't care about him right now. I don't know what position he plays, but he was injured, and he's back. But it's been working for us. 3-2 win. 3-2 win in regulation, please. 3-2 win in regulation. The Battle of Alberta getting it done. Oh, crap. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, Weidman went down with an injury. That's our top pairing defenseman. Yeah, Butler is a defenseman, so Weidman was playing on the top pair with Giordano. This is an easy move for me. I think we give, we're going to stick with it. Butler, you get in because of Weidman's injury. Scuderi to the top pairing and Butler alongside Whitney. So now we've got an extra defenseman in there. What is Butler? He's okay. That's actually going to affect also other lines like penalty kill, but I'm not going to show that. Oh, Anaheim, we lost it in regulation, and Weidman is a 6 weeks injury, just like Jagers is. So he's going to be a long-term injury. And a big loss on the top pairing, but fortunately it was not Giordano, the captain, that got injured. Oh, man. And Ellerby gone! Oh, we just keep losing our depth defenseman. So Ellerby, Smith gets in there. That makes the most sense, yes. Oh, it's just going to have to work as it is. I'm just going to have to run with it as it is. We can't have any more injuries on D at this point in the season. We cannot have any more injuries. We are holding on by a thread, and we didn't get a point against Anaheim, because that was a regulation loss. Big win over Los Angeles. Now, what do the standings look like now? It's faster to go this way. And I just had it. And we are, oh my God. Giving Phoenix that point could be our biggest nightmare. Oh, you know what I just realized? Actually, we got to chase down Winnipeg, who's got 89 points. We have got to do some winning. We are running. Oh, the season's over. That's it. So we did not qualify for the playoffs. We cannot get any more points. We have officially been eliminated, and it came down to a few extra wins was all that we needed. But season 1, we cannot win the cup because we did not make the playoffs, and so all of my attempts to bolster the roster meant nothing. And there it is. It's been a good year. 38 wins under our belt. I like what you've been doing, so I think that's what the GM was hoping for, was 38 wins, and I hit that exact number for the general manager. But we need to improve for next season. We need to make the playoffs, and I would like to do a little bit of a season-ending recap after I send the scout out to wherever. Okay, let's see. Let's sort this by goals scored. So, player stats after a full season has been played. And here's who did what. Yuri Hudler led the team in goals. We did have a 30-goal scorer with 30 exact goals. Yuri Hudler, really good season for him. How old is he? Isn't he like 20? Oh, he's 30. So he's even older than 27. He had a pretty great year, but I'm a little disappointed. I was expecting a little bit more. Lecavalier had a really decent year as a 33-year-old. I mean, he produced well. He had 72 points, almost point per game. Really probably carried the load, playing a lot of first. Started with second line minutes, boosted to the first line, and playing alongside Camilleri. Those two, we should have just rolled with those two on the same line, with Camilleri on the wing, Lecavalier at center for the whole season. That would have been gold, I think. I think we had a good combination there because once we put those two together, the team, I think, played better, and they really ended up producing together. Berchi had a great year. I can't complain with that kind of a year. Out of a guy that was 78 overall to start the season, he has grown to an 82. We will look at progress reports for the end of season. I might actually hold on to progress reports and see them after the offseason, but I'll take a peek at them before we sim through the offseason. But nonetheless, great year from Sven Berchi, 47 points, 23 goals. Stempniak started off pretty hot, cooled down a bit, had a 22-goal year. And then Pouliot, 19 goals on the year. I don't know how many of those goals were with us because I do not, it doesn't show you with what team he scored those goals with. I don't know how many he had when we acquired him. But I do have that information in this recording session. So if you want to compare that, he played like probably close to less than 20 games with us after acquiring him at the deadline. I'm guessing it was decently productive with us after joining our roster. Horak with 13 goals, Jones 11. These are now getting into the bottom 6 minutes. And Yager, before his injury, 9 goals, had an okay year. I mean, Yager at this point is 42 years old and just was a desperation signing in free agency. And I'll just scroll through all of this. The only two guys that didn't score a goal, Kandari with 4 games played, and Scuderi never scored. He played 75 games. So where did Ryan Whitney finish in goals scored? Because, he had 8 goals, 20 assists season. Not too bad for a defenseman. Was he our leading defenseman in goals? Yes, he was. Leading point getter, we already saw this total, but it was Vincent Lecavalier. He was a free agent signing on a 1-year deal. Do we contemplate bringing him back? Like I said, he is 33 years old. He's played 1,119 NHL games at this point in his career. A former first overall pick by the Tampa Bay Lightning will be an unrestricted free agent and something to consider in the offseason. PIM's leader, Lecavalier, plus minus, and the I don't know how to explain it. The one end of the totem pole with the positive plus minus, there were not many. And then the other side of the totem pole, all the guys that fell on the negative side of it. Ooh, this was ugly. Lecavalier, minus 13. Whitney, minus 26. He's an offensive-minded defenseman playing second line. I mean, he was shuffled between third pair and second pair minutes on the season, but that's pretty gaudy at a minus 26. Now, again, I know plus minus is not the end-all, be-all of a player, but in this game, we don't have advanced stats to look at. This is as advanced as it gets, and you can see that we were not very good. I don't know what our goal differential was. But we can find that out in the team stat screen. Our power play goal leader, Hudler with 13. I think the power play, we'll look at that as well. I think it probably could have been a little bit better. Our team on the power play was terrible. We gave up a lot of goals while we were on the man advantage, which is just wild to me. We scored 4 shorthanded goals in the whole season. Game-winning goals, game-tying goals, never had any. Shot leader, Lecavalier shot the puck the most, 237 attempts. So how did it go in the face-off dot? Obviously, Lecavalier took a lot of face-offs, and he was very good. He was above 50%, so was Camilleri. He was above 50%. Even Yager, a right winger, he was above 50% in the 27 face-offs he took. LaPierre above 50%. Backlund was about right on 50%. So was Hudler. Street, a dude that's, I think he's 72 overall. He played some games at center. He was very close. I mean, for a guy 72 overall. Disappointing from Stajan in terms of face-offs. 620 face-offs taken, but a bit of a mark below 50%. 46% on the draw. And then, most hits given out. Lecavalier tied with Rob Scuderi for the most hits given out. So those guys were out there banging bodies. Who turned the puck over? Scuderi, 85 times. Most takeaways was Stempniak. In the net, how did it... This is what I figured. About 79 games played for Mika Kiprusoff. Mrazek got in there, 10 games played. I don't know how many of those were starts. But Kiprusoff played in 79 of the 82 games. Hopefully Mrazek grew. And in those 79, I mean, I got to give it up to a 37-year-old Kiprusoff playing 79 of the games. He had a 2.7 GAA. Was he above 900 save percentage? He was. He was above 90% in the save percentage. Mrazek got there in the 10 games played. How many shots did he face? Shots faced, shots against. 230 shots faced. So not anywhere near what Kipper saw, but hopefully Mrazek grew a little bit from this at the end of the offseason. Hopefully he has a little bit of growth over the offseason. But there's the whole goaltender stats if you just want to pause it or take a look at it or whatever. So New Jersey won the President's Trophy. Anybody surprised at that? They just kept that up for the whole season. Brodeur must have been a beast. They were good at scoring goals too. They were just a really good team. They might go on to win the whole thing. And this is how the NHL turned out. At the end of the season, all the teams that qualified. So who's the first team that missed? Edmonton makes it. That's very disappointing for us. Winnipeg, last team in. Columbus just misses. Columbus is in the East at this point, so Columbus is the first team out with 91 points. The closest team they were to in the East would be Washington, so 3 points out. LA with 90 points gets in. Pittsburgh misses out. Montreal, so there's Phoenix. First team out is Phoenix, then Detroit in the East now, then Ottawa, then us. So we are right there, right behind Phoenix, and then of course behind the Winnipeg Jets. So we could have made it. We really could have made it. We just had a few too many tough losses and losing streaks, and we lost a lot of one-goal games. I'm gonna guess that our goal differential. My brain is turning to mush as I'm trying to end this video. I guess our goal differential was probably. I guess we were. How would you... I got to look at it. So we scored 234 goals for, and we gave up 229 goals against. So basically, hold on, 234 minus 229, it was a +5 goal differential. So we could score a lot of goals, but we were also giving up a lot of goals, but we were losing a lot of one-goal games. So that has got to be corrected. How does goals for compare to the best teams in the NHL? So we were a good goal-scoring team. We were top 6 in the NHL. So we were 6th in the NHL with goals for. So we had no problem putting the puck in the back of the net. It was our goals against that let us down. We needed to be way better at preventing goals. In fact, we were one of the worst teams in the NHL. So that's the problem. We gave up as much as we were scoring, we were equally giving up as much as we were scoring, which means a lot of one-goal losses. Look at the New Jersey Devils. So New Jersey had the best goals against. They had the best goals against average, but it did come back up. Yeah, their goals against average was below 2 at much of the season, but they did come back down to earth a little bit there with a 2.17. Still, I'm guessing Brodeur carried this Devils team this whole season. Power play goals, no doubt about it. We were the best in terms of just total goals scored on the power play. And I wonder, was our percentage equally reflective of that? It was. We were 18% on the power play. So we had a very good power play this season. It could have been better. It fell off a little bit by the end of the season because at one point we were at 20% clicking on the power play, but 18% or better is still pretty good. It's this. Shorthanded goals against. We gave up 11 goals to the other team while they were shorthanded. That is in double-digit territory. Power play goals against. So I'm guessing the penalty kill was okay. It was middle of the pack, and 84% is not terrible, in my opinion, on the penalty kill. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. It is, like I said, mid-pack, so the penalty kill could have been a little bit better. So how did we fare at home, at the Saddle Dome? We were about 500 the whole year. As we finished in our last 10 with a 4-5-1 record. We really busted our own balls at the end of the season with a terrible stretch of play that put us out of the playoffs ultimately. So this has not changed. Progress reports has not changed? No, it hasn't changed so far, but I didn't look at goaltenders. Okay, so progress reports for the skaters has not changed. to this point in the simulation. We haven't simmed through the offseason yet. We will do that at some point. But look at that. Peter Mrazek has had some growth. He has had a little bit of growth. His angles have gotten better. His 5-hole has improved. His glove high improved. And his stick high has improved. So playing in the NHL this season and at least getting some games and getting some action in there and learning behind Kiprusoff, it has helped him have some natural growth. So statistical growth, I'm assuming statistical growth is growth that improves because of how he plays. But he's also just grown naturally as he's gotten better. He is 3.5 gold star. I'm kind of banking on Mrazek growing. He is just 22 years old. We traded for this guy just hoping maybe we could turn him into something so that by season 4 and maybe by season 5, he really does maybe bloom a little bit. I don't expect him to be anything elite, but goaltenders in this game really don't have to be elite in order for you to be successful putting together a team. Oh, and the playoff tree. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it here, but this is the playoff tree before we get into the playoffs. And then, of course, for us, it'll be the off season. This is who's playing who. I think at the beginning of our next episode of this GM series, we will simulate through the playoffs, go through the draft, and go through free agency and set us up through the offseason. So we'll just do the whole offseason, set us up for the start of Season 2 in the next episode. It's really unfortunate that we are unable to take part in the Season 1 playoffs. Again, I have 5 seasons with the Calgary Flames to get the job done, and then I will move on to another team and continue this series. So I have 5 seasons with the Calgary Flames to prove my worth and get a job done, bring a Stanley Cup to Calgary, hopefully multiple Stanley Cups to Calgary. We just did not get it done in Season 1. So now I'm down to 4 more seasons to achieve greatness.